Hi, my name is Kristen Freeman, and if you are new to my channel, I am going to be starting a series called First Timer's Guide to Disney. And in this, I am going to give you our review, our thoughts as first timers, out of state visitors to Disney. So, welcome, and I am excited to share this. This has been several months in the making. I have two small children, so just finding the time to kind of sit down and actually record a video when my house is quiet are few and far between. So, I am glad to finally have the time to share my first review. So, first of all, we went on our very first Disney vacation when my kids were 3.5, almost 4, and my son was 17 months old. So that's kind of our background. My husband and I traveled from Virginia and landed at MCO, went from MCO to Disney, and stayed there for the week. And we did that in the end of November, beginning of December. So the Christmas decorations were all out, and it was all the Disney magic that you can imagine. So that's a little bit of background about us, kind of our story, and I really always dreamed of taking my children to Disney and dreamed of going to Disney myself, and it really seemed like a far off dream, something that we probably would never do. And then last year, I kind of just got it in my head, like, this is what we're going to do, and I really want to do it. So that's what we did, and we went to Disney for our very first trip, and it was super magical. It was all the things that I always dreamed it would be, but it was also very stressful. It was a lot of planning, a lot of work, things that I would definitely do again, things that I would change and not do again. And so I kind of thought about making this guide for people who are dreaming and planning about Disney. That is what my goal is of my channel right this second, is to just give you some tips, tricks, hacks, things that we would do again, things that we would change, things that we enjoyed and, would definitely consider like key core memories of our trip. And so for further kind of background information, one last little tidbit about us. My son has a developmental delay and he has sensory processing disorder. So for our trip, we did utilize a lot of Genie Plus, but my son was also a DAS recipient. So if you're unfamiliar with the DAS pass, that is Disability Assistant Services. He is unable to wait in really loud queues. It's very overwhelming, overstimulating. He gets very upset. And so he was a recipient, sorry, I couldn't get my words together there. He was a recipient of the DAS pass. So we utilized both to cut down on wait times because he's just not able to handle that very well. So that did allow our trip to go a little bit smoother than I think it would have otherwise. But yeah, we're going to be hopping into some tips, tricks, hacks, and all the things in various segments. So we were there for about 9 days. Yeah, we flew out on Tuesday, flew back in the following Wednesday. So I'm sorry, 8 days. We were there for 8 days in the month of November. Like I said, it was a Christmas time decorations and all the fun things. So these are my thoughts on that trip. So let's start with, in our very first video, just kind of doing a general overview. Would I repeat taking small children to Disney at Christmas time? And my answer to that would be absolutely. Make sure you pack your patience. And I know you've heard that in other videos. If you are planning a Disney trip or considering it, you've for sure heard pack your patience, pack your patience, pack your patience. But the reality is, pack your patience, because there are times that I can definitely say I did not have all the patience that I thought I was going to. Like, oh, we are on vacation, it is magical, and then I've got a crying baby who won't eat because he's out of his schedule, and he doesn't eat very well anyway because of some of his delays, and so he's crying because I can't heat up his milk and he doesn't like it cold, and my daughter wants to see the princesses but there's a line, and I'm like, I planned a magical vacation. Like, why are we all crying? So definitely pack your patience. You're going to need it, and kind of pack your go with the flow attitude too. You can have every detail plan to the minute and stuff goes wrong. So pack your patience, pack your versatility, and, just plan for the unplanned. Expect the unexpected and go with the flow and enjoy what your kids are enjoying. My second kind of overview tip was if you are planning on going at a busy time of the year, such as Christmas, where you really want to go in and you want to see those decorations, but you've heard the crowd levels are just out of control at certain times of the year, definitely budget for at least Genie Plus at Magic Kingdom. That's going to make sure that you get more time to do the things that you want to do. You don't necessarily have to have Genie Plus at every park and pay for it. It is a big expense. It is a big expense. It was, I think, when we went 19 or $22 a person for me, my husband, and my daughter, who was 3.5 at the time. And then the baby just got to kind of tag along with us. He didn't have to have Genie Plus, but we did, and it is expensive, but we utilized it on our Magic Kingdom day because that was where I knew my daughter had the most things that she wanted to do. And so I realized that in order for us to enjoy our time, we were going to have to cut down on those wait times. She was not going to enjoy seeing the princesses nearly as much if she had to stand in line an hour to get there. So we budgeted and planned for that expense because we knew that's how we wanted to enjoy our Magic Kingdom day, and it was part of what made the experience for us. So think about what things you're going to prioritize, and if low wait times are going to be a big deal because you have small kids, budget that in at least for Magic Kingdom. Try to give yourself that little bit of gap there. And then my other tip is go when the season is starting to shift. If you want to go at Halloween time, go maybe a little what you would consider out of season. Like we went the end of November and the first week of December. People are kind of just getting into that Christmas spirit. We're coming right out of Thanksgiving. So we flew the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So we gave everybody time to get home from their trip because I did not want to take 2 toddlers on their very first plane ride on Thanksgiving weekend. So we waited till the following Tuesday when the airports had died down a little bit. But Disney World was not slammed. We didn't have to wait huge, large amounts of time to get in on any of the rides. And that's even without Genie Plus. I think some of the max wait times were like 30 to 35 minutes, which if you have followed Disney at all, you know that's really not a horrible wait time experience. So plan to enjoy your seasonal vacation, that Halloween, that New Year's, that spring festival, the Christmas season, whatever like peak decorations that you're wanting to see. Plan it at the tip of the season if you have small kids. We planned it right as the seasons were changing over, and we got to see all the Christmas decorations, enjoy the Christmas parade, enjoy the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and we didn't have to, have the people to people, shoulder to shoulder crowds that we were told to anticipate in the Christmas season. So plan it when the season is just changing over, and you're going to cut those crowds down at least some. So final tip would be definitely think about your priorities in terms of time. So for us, we did several sit-down meals because our kids loved meeting the characters. My son, who I mentioned, does have sensory processing disorder and a developmental delay. We really felt like he would not enjoy the characters. We're like, it's probably going to be a little much. And his little face just lit up when he would see them and when they would wave at him, mouse, mouse, duck, duck. He was in speech therapy at the time. He still is, but he had just started. It had only been a couple months. So he only had a few words, and he would just like squeal when he would see Donald Duck. And so those were some big highlights for us, and they are some core memories of our trip. And by doing those sit-down meals, we were able to take advantage of the fact that we didn't have to stand in line. We were getting that personalized one-on-one attention. We were also getting to eat. So we did a couple breakfasts. So we were starting our day with a good meal. And we're also starting it with a nice, relaxed environment where we're getting to enjoy food while we're seeing characters and they're coming to our table and it's entertaining the kids and they're excited. So think about what your priorities are as far as time. Would you rather spend more time in the park and therefore like stand in the lines to meet the characters and grab a quick meal? Or would you rather pay for the sit down meal and have less time in the parks but have kind of that one-on-one assigned interaction time? So think about your priorities, pack your patience, and plan in the off season would be kind of my first timers tips to think about. And we'll be doing a whole series and I'll go through the different restaurants and how we use Genie Plus and whether or not I would recommend certain things that we did. But yeah, that's kind of my first time overview guide. So if you enjoyed this or if you're excited to hear some other first timers tips, tricks, and hacks for Disney World with toddlers and small children, like and subscribe to the channel because there are more coming and I'm super excited to share them with you. Goodbye, and I will see you next time.